Oh, I forgot that you counted down and then there was. Do you know what's extra funny about that? Is I was thinking to myself, what if I did a bit about not knowing what to say, like right at the top? Okay, but also to
It's
be
okay.
fair,
I
it
cut
doesn't.
this.
I don't
I'm gonna
see
cut
it.
this off for YouTube. It's fine.
I don't. Please don't. Actually, I don't see us on Twitch though. It still just says starting soon.
Oh,
Um, but
so
maybe that's just because my computer's not catching up. So anyway, hi, hey everybody. I'm trying to announce the show and it's going really well. Welcome to 2025. It's Giantslayer. We're playing Pathfinder 2E. Our game master is Michael. He's in one of these squares. I can't see us, so I can't tell you. Figure it out. Anyway, before we get started, I'm doing announcements. I have a script. It's going great. Listen, if you are in Chicago or in Jacksonville, Florida, we're running games in a bar near you. And if we're not, and there's a bar near you and you want us to run a game in there, hey, let us know. There's lots of ways that you can connect with us. You'll need to get on this link here that I'm going to drop in the chat, which is our website. And that's how you can connect with us and book a game with us, directly with us in a bar or in your home, in your computer. We have ways. We also have ways for you to watch us. Look, you're doing it. Also, every Sunday we are streaming, although you won't see us every other Sunday. Richard is running another Pathfinder 2E campaign called Gears of Revolution. And I've been watching his announcements, and that's why I felt inspired to try to get my act together. Tell me
you're
how
doing
I'm
good.
doing.
Well
Thanks.
done.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank
I
you
think
to
it's going
the.
well so far.
It's going well. That's great. Okay, I have more links that I'm going to drop. I'm just going to drop them when I'm done saying all of the things. You can find us on YouTube. You're probably watching us on YouTube. Hi, thanks for tuning in. You can see all of the previous episodes of this on YouTube if you're trying to catch up. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. Get it while it's hot. It's the hot you don't know. Will we still be here at the end of January? Will you still be able to see us? It might be illegal to see our really cool content on TikTok really soon. Get in there while you can. All the cool kids are doing it. Okay, I think that's enough for me. I'm gonna be quiet and put more cool links in the chat. Hey, Michael, save me.
Well done.
Thanks.
I applaud. It was great. I feel inspired.
That's great.
So, as she said, welcome back to Giantslayer. This is a first edition Pathfinder adventure path that we are converting to second edition. It's been a little while since we've seen you, so here's a quick recap of what happened last time. Some stuff happened, and now we're here.
And that's it.
How succinct could I be?
Huh.
So you are on your way to a place called Red Lake Fort. That is as far as you know, the location of the orcs and a particularly nasty hill giant named Grenseldeck, who was behind the attack on Trunau. On your way, you were told by Silverman, the deaf mute druid whom you rescued during the siege of Trunau, that there's a druid vault, an ancient druid vault in the middle of the swamp. Called Ghostlight Marsh. I don't know why I was blanking on that name. He said he gave you a lantern. Said put the husk of a dead willow wisp inside this lantern. It'll point the way. They had arranged travel for you on this boat called the Churlish Devil, captained by Rag Bloodtusk. Our last session was essentially your first days on the ship. You witnessed an accident, a fishing accident, where they were hauling in a full net and the railing snapped. Determined by our illustrious players that there was probably some sabotage going on. After trying to weasel some information out of the crew, you rested for the evening. The next day, you began your. Oh no! Before that, Travers did some Travers things and snuck around and saw a cage with a four-armed gorilla sleeping inside of it. He was not super roguelike, as he set off an alarm, and Rag and Halger caught him, basically said, hey, keep this to yourself. Nobody can know about this. You get the sense that, I mean, Travers isn't particularly a law-abiding citizen. So he knows a smuggling operation when he sees it. He gets it. Says, I won't tell anybody. The next day, the rowing crew on the second deck begins their shift, at which point said gorilla wakes up, plows through the door and into the rowing banks and begins swinging away. Thankfully, the crew and our players are able to subdue the threat, and that is where we will pick up. You should see on the map a dead gorilla. He does have four arms. I know the picture does not show four arms, but he does have four arms. I assure you.
Is there? I don't see that.
You don't see the
Yeah, I
gorilla?
just see the Giantslayer title.
Oh.
Yeah.
I pulled the Terra. Hold on.
Totally.
There we go.
Sarah. Don't
Oh,
need to
brilliant.
explain anymore.
There we go. All set. Now you should see that.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Now I remember. Are we
Okay.
Just picking up there?
That's where we're picking up. The gorilla fell. And I should say also, I do distinctly remember Rag came running down, and the last thing he said before we ended last session was, whose turn was it to feed this thing? Or something to that effect.
Got it.
That is
so
where we will pick up.
Jaytham and I are down there, right?
Jaytham, Travers, and Esther, as well as Halrex, Crothu, and Urug. Everybody else is on the top deck. Seven can see down through like the cargo bay hatch. So he can see everything that's happening. The gorilla is right below that hatch.
I am going to tap Jaytham on the shoulder if I can. Am I near Jaytham?
You're not, but you can be.
I would love to be near Jaytham because I'm going to tap him on the shoulder.
Oh.
And because he and we have a rapport now. I'm going to say, quietly find Gorza. Follow me. And I'm going to go up to the top deck. And as I'm going away,
Mhm.
I'm going to turn back and point at him. And I'm going to say, quietly.
Aren't there a few more people than you and I in this room right now?
Halrex is like, you don't have to be quiet. Everybody heard this gorilla come through the wall.
I mean, I'll try and be quiet if that's what you want me to do, but I feel like we blew up our spot.
Well, I'm trying to be subtle. We need you and I guess whoever's listening at this point.
Yes,
We should find
Esther is in
Gorza.
the room with us right now.
Seven's sort of like peering down through like the grate in the ceiling. Oh, this one did not understand you were trying to be subtle. This one will try.
All right.
Gorza actually is on the
Hey,
deck.
shut
right
up. We're
next to
trying to
Seven.
be subtle.
All right. Seven, grab Gorza.
I'm right here. Hi, how you doing?
Hey,
Like,
Gorza.
his head appears over Seven's shoulder.
Hey, Gorzo, wait there. And I'm gonna run up to meet him.
I'm on a ship. Where am I gonna go? All right.
No, okay, fine.
Yeah. So you are able to get up to the top deck. You do have to go to like the other end from like where you currently are. You have to go all the way down. You have to, well, you're small. You'd have to clamber over the dead body of the gorilla.
I'm clambering.
And then there are 2 staircases that lead up to the next deck. So
I'm just making a beeline.
I'm going to assume everybody goes with him unless you tell me otherwise.
Okay.
You all up?
Hey, am I next to Gorza yet?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm gonna clap him on the shoulder, half threateningly, and the other half very threateningly. And I'm going to say, hey, bud, it's kind of funny that you wanted to take stable duty this morning. Is that a coincidence?
I don't really know what you mean. I told you why I wanted it.
And did you forget to feed the gorilla? Or sedate the gorilla?
He looks at you kind of nonplussed. No, it was what day is today? No, it was Tog's turn, and he points over his shoulder to Tog.
When were you supposed to sedate the gorilla?
We take turns, so every 10 days or so.
All right, buddy. I got my eye on you, and I'm
Okay.
going to release.
Sure. I don't know what you're insinuating, but I had nothing to do with what happened down there.
Uh-huh. And why again did you want to take my morning shift?
For whatever reason, the DM made up last game.
Huh. A likely story. A likely
I
inconvenient.
don't remember what I said.
A likely inconvenient story. All right. Just watch your step.
I do have a question. Does everyone on board know about this thing? Besides us?
So Rag's up there too, and he's like, "Well, now you do."
Oh, well, now we do. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you very much for letting us in on that.
I wish you hadn't killed it. Can't sell a dead gorilla.
Who are you selling a gorilla to?
The fighting pits in Urgir. They pay top money for exotic animals. I don't trade in slaves. I don't do that. Having been a slave before, I don't condone that. But these wild animals, yeah.
You don't view them as being worthy of also having autonomy or safety?
No, you saw that thing, right?
Well, yes, but it was trapped and sedated and scared. And how would you behave if you woke up after being sedated for 20, 30 days, however many? I'm certain it got on this boat before we did.
Oh, yeah, it did. Look,
I mean, the last time I was
the orcs in Urgir pay big money for these things. I gotta make a living. Believe it or not, there's not a whole lot of money in ferrying supplies and people up and down this river.
Gotta say, the last time I was sedated for 20 or 30 days, I woke up pretty pissed.
Huh.
So, where did you find this thing?
In the jungles of what's the name of those?
Mwanga. Mwangi
Yes,
Expanse.
the Mwangi Expanse.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, I guess elephant in the room here. It kind of seems like somebody on your crew knew that this thing was down there and made it a little bit easier for it to escape.
well, the entire crew knows it's down there. They take turns doing the poison. And actually, Tog is right next to Rag. So Rag puts a hand on his shoulder. Says, it was your turn to feed the gorilla this morning. Did you give them the food?" And Tog just nods.
I admittedly am having a hard time tracking the crew members' names, but can you tell me who there was the one guy at dinner that was sad that he seemed there was like a love triangle thing happening?
Yes.
Are any of those people on deck right now?
Yeah. So actually, I can reveal their names. I tried not to do that so it wouldn't like muck up the map, but I can do that for you.
Thank you. I'll also need a reminder about who those people's names are, unfortunately. So sorry.
Yes, that's fine. So during that dinner, it had come out that Rag and Halrex were in his chambers.
Right. Oh, yes.
And you saw Tog being a little
Right. Right.
upset at that.
So all three of them are up here.
Halrex, well, she can do it.
And
I would assume that everybody had come up. I just
was Tog also one of the guys that almost fell overboard or did fall overboard?
One of the twins fell overboard. I don't remember if it was Sharg or Tog.
I believe it was Shark.
So
It was Sharg. Okay.
all right. So this is Sharg. He's the one who fell overboard. This is Tog. They're twins, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Rag. I'll move him down. Barca, who I believe is the fisherman. Then you have Urug.
Mm-hmm. She was from the fighting pits, right?
Yes, most of them were from the fighting pits. Here is Crothu.
I have to say, when I was taking notes of their names, I got the spelling of each one of them wrong.
Shout out to you for actually taking notes, though. You would think that I would also be learning my lesson and taking notes right now. No, I'm just looking pensively at their names on Forge, storing them in my brain.
The orc who works in the kitchens with Esther is Gajnak.
Right. My buddy Gashnak.
Then Halrex, who is the first mate. Coxswain. I'm not gonna. You guys know who you are, so I'm not gonna show your names.
Oh,
God. All right.
okay.
So the love triangle that you're talking about was Rag, Halrex, and Tog.
Tog, yeah. So can I then perceive them extra?
Sure, you can roll perception.
Thanks. That's how you say that? Yeah. I do it like this. Okay.
Tog looks nervous.
Hmm.
Not sure. Could be because his boss is berating him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, thank you. Filed that. Nope. I'm not gonna say anything right now, but that's in my brain.
I'm going to ask Rag, is there anybody not here or not down there that should have been down there besides Gorza?
No, everybody on deck is on deck right now. This is it. Oh yeah, I forgot about Demas. He comes running out too.
Have we considered the fact, or the possibility, rather, that there may be somebody on the ship that we don't know about, who is neither part of our merrying band of adventurers or your stalwart crew?
You see Rag. He looks like he's really giving it serious thought, and he goes, I don't see how that's possible. We live on this ship. If there was somebody, a stowaway on here, we would know. Somebody would know. And you see him sort of looking around at the crew, questioningly, like, speak up. Nobody does.
Do you mind if we or I go down there and inspect the body?
Please, go ahead. It's going to take all of us to get that damn thing up out of there.
Hold off, if you can, on bringing your crew. I'd like my friends and I to take a look down there just to make sure the area remains untainted.
Sure.
I motion for everybody to follow me. And I, whether they do or not, great. But I go down to the below decks where the gorilla is.
Okay. Does everybody go with him? Or nobody go with him? It's up to you.
How many of the crew are gonna go too?
The Travers asked them to stay up, so they'll stay up. Rag will make sure that they stay put.
Oh,
That
okay.
nobody can do anything.
All right, I'll go.
7, you can.
I don't think I would be much use in an investigatory standpoint, so I will stay up top just to make sure that nobody leaves.
Okay.
All right.
It just occurred to me that I should reveal your names for the viewers, so I will do that. Go ahead.
So is it just me and Esther?
Looks like it, yeah.
Great.
Unless
Esther?
7, did you say you were gonna? Okay.
You have the medicine though, don't you? I'm just realizing too. I'm like, I mean, I've got a little bit of medicine, but
I probably should have rolled a deception check because Esther, talking to you, it's just
Yes.
you and me. Earlier I noticed there was a trap door down here. And how do I remember that? It's in my notes. So there is a trap door down here that I want to investigate. DM?
Rag shouts down through the grate. You don't need my permission. I already gave you free reign of the boat. Do what you got to do.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Cool. I need to work on my inside voice. But I think we should investigate that trapdoor. I'm going to investigate that trapdoor.
That was just me reminding you that Rag has already given you and your crew free reign of the boat.
Oh, I see.
You don't have to be like sneaky about exploring.
I didn't know if Rag knew about this trapdoor. That's what I was going to. That's what
I see. Okay.
I mean, I would think it's his boat.
Yeah, you know he's a smuggler.
Yeah.
That's why the gorilla was here. It's possible that's why that trapdoor is there. It's just another place for illicit cargo.
Yeah, all this is making sense. It's been a minute since I've played
You
this.
you are more than welcome to go to that trapdoor.
I would love to go investigate the trapdoor, if I may.
Esther, do you go with him or do you stay with the gorilla?
I'm staying with the gorilla.
Okay. Travers, we'll do trapdoor first. You
Right.
walk over to where you remember it is. You do that thing that Bilbo does in The Hobbit, where he's trying to make the trapdoor with the barrels trip. I think it was the second Hobbit movie. You doing like this little foot stomp. Eventually, you locate exactly where it is, and you're able to wedge your fingers into the gap and pull it open.
Perfect.
You see about 10. No, 10 feet's too much. 5-ish, 5-6 feet down. There's a little ladder that goes down to drag you down there.
I go down.
A little area. You see like a stairwell area, and then there's a closed door in front of you. There.
Perfect.
That's all you see.
Well, I'm gonna, and no, like remnants of like scraps of food, like no signs that somebody is like staying down here, right? No, like
No.
makeshift bed or anything. Okay.
No, you don't see anything like that.
I'm going to walk up to that door. I'm going to check for traps. I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Do perception.
Okay. Looks like a 19.
Okay. No traps on this door. It is locked.
I'm going to pick that lock.
Okay. Do thievery.
All right. Where's the thing? Okay. Do I just hit the pick a lock?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Here we go. So 9 plus 9, that's an 18.
That was a 6 plus 9.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oops.
That is a success. It's not a very good luck. The door unlocks, and you can see that the lock was kind of holding it shut. So when you unlock it, it sort of pops open and just very slowly like creaks, like a haunted house creaks open.
Okay, I look inside.
You see a long walkway in front of you. And then immediately you're hit by the stench. This is the bilges. It smells like rotting vegetation, mold. Nasty.
I shut the door.
Okay.
And I go back up to Esther. And I say, nothing to see.
There was another door all the way down at the end of that walkway. Probably, given the shape of the boat, led to another room, much like the one that you were in.
I will make a note of that, but I don't want to deal with all that stench and. Ooh.
Yes, the bilges are not a nice place.
No.
Esther, with the gorilla.
Yeah, I think all that's really happening while you go for your quick little tour down there. I mean, I'll roll medicine or nature. What I'm really doing is I am just having a moment of like peace for this gorilla who just died. Like, I just want to like look at its face and see what it looks like now that it's at rest, and like I'm just like observing it and filing it away in my barred mind for, I don't know,
Sure.
who knows. I'm just having a moment for it because I feel bad for its fate.
Of course.
Do you want me to roll anything, or I don't know?
If you're trying to learn anything about the gorilla, you can roll
Sure.
nature. If you're just like having a moment, you don't have to roll anything.
No, I'll roll for nature. Let's see what I can learn. I don't have any bonuses. I'm too emotional.
I mean, it just looks like a gorilla, but it's got 4 arms. That's weird.
It has 4 arms. I imagine its face is like peaceful, and I can like see the wrinkles on its like unfurred space, and
Yeah.
gorillas and humans not so far apart. I like put my hand on her forehead. I'm gonna go ahead and gender this gorilla unnecessarily. And I feel like that's the moment when Travers comes up, and so then I just nod at him and I turn around and walk down the hallway.
Okay. That's what the gorilla looks like, by the way.
So
4 arms.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So beauty.
Okay.
Such like a human.
Yes, I see myself in you.
If humans had 4 arms, I mean, I don't see a difference. It's the same picture.
What I could achieve with 4 arms, honestly.
Does he have 2 sets of pecs?
Oh yeah.
Well, you gotta have 2 sets of chest muscles to operate the 2. It's just
That's how it works.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
that.
I don't know.
At least for humans, and humans, 4-armed gorillas were really only an extra set of pecs away.
I have a hard enough time with 2 arms. I can't imagine 4. Probably bump into a lot of things.
I don't know. I feel like you'd figure it out.
So back up on top deck, you see Rag sort of questioning Tog some more, trying to pressure him, and Rag thinks to ask, "Did you see Gajnak apply the poison to the meat?" And he says, "Yes, I watched him do it." And Gajnak confirms, "I used the same dose we always use. I poured it onto the meat. Tog watched him do it, and he fed the gorilla this morning. Somehow it still woke up."
This one is not gifted in matters of our chemical sciences, but I would like to take a look at the poison nonetheless, to see if the poison itself was tampered with. But first, this one would like to, and he will walk over to Crothu, patch up your wounds a bit, if you will allow this one.
Yes, please. That gorilla really did a number on me.
I'll just pull out my rusted embalming tools and just start to stitch him up a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and roll.
He doesn't seem phased, at least, by the rust and the grossness of your tools.
I get the natural 20. It's 21 hit points back.
Wow, cool. Great
Right.
timing.
He is just 1 away from full with that, so he's feeling much better. Oh, thank you. I feel great.
This one is glad that you feel great. This one encourages you, if you see another 4-armed gorilla or the elephant that my companion mentioned in the room, to stay away.
I will do that. Thank you. That's good advice. He scratches his neck, not knowing really why, and he just walks away.
All right, I'm hoping someone would take me to the poison so I can take a look.
Yes, Gajnak can take you. It's I hide it in the kitchen, and he will lead you in there. You can roll crafting or Arcana, I guess, or whatever you would normally use to identify something.
It would probably be crafting, or depending on the makeup of the poison, maybe nature if it was something.
In first edition, it was craft alchemy, but we don't have that.
Okay.
Second edition.
Let me just have crafting, so I'll roll crafting with my 0 bonus. Let's see what happens. Maybe I get lucky. I did get lucky.
15.
It's a 15.
You can tell it's definitely not water. It's definitely some sort of a poison. You can't identify it.
I just put my finger in it and just taste it like they do in all the movies.
Oh no! Don't do that. That's no, that's
I
not
did
good.
it.
That's
I
that's
did
not
it.
good at all.
I just liked it just a little bit.
Let me.
It's definitely like his tongue just sort of like darted out like a lizard. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot what this was called.
Poison.
It is definitely poison. These books are not super well laid out.
I want to get ready for Richard to have to make a brand new character.
It should. He'll probably just have to go to sleep. Probably. It knocked out a gorilla.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay.
I just like
Uh,
take a little bit. Oh, tip of the tongue.
so you don't know what it's called. It does have sort of a bitter taste to it. So if you were to put it on food, you'd know. Um, okay, so you just licked it. It did it. You didn't ingest enough
Okay.
for it to have a negative effect. Thankfully for you.
Kind of you.
So Gajnak grabs it, goes, no, don't lick it. This is this is simian tranquilizer. It's only for the gorilla.
This one is not a gorilla. This one didn't think it would have any effect.
Oh no, it's bad. It's poison. It's poison for us, but gorilla takes it and they just kind of go to sleep. But if you give them too much, they will die. But if we take one dose, we get really sick, and if we take enough for 2 doses, we die. So don't drink this.
Is this the bottle which you used this morning?
Yeah, that's the one with the poison. That's the one I used.
I'm going to kind of look.
Roll whatever would be insight in second edition. Roll that.
Perception. Alright. $19.
Okay. He's telling the truth.
I want to kind of like glance around the kitchen to see if maybe there is an empty bottle that looks like this or something similar as
Sure.
well. I don't know if you want me to roll again, just use that same roll.
No, we'll use that 19. We'll say the 19 was just you surveying the room, and he happens to be in the room.
Okay.
There are lots of small bottles. There are a couple that look similar to this, but this one is clearly marked with like chalk or something to denote that it's not like the other, so that he can't mix it up.
This one is satisfied.
Good, I'm glad. Just remember what I said. Don't drink this. It's bad for you. And he puts it in the cupboard and shuts the door.
I will walk out to join Jaytham.
Jaytham, is there anything you would like to do?
Not really, not at this time. I don't have many skills that would be of use right now.
Okay. So Rag is like, all right, look, we can't delay. We have to make a supply drop to a base, a lookout in a day's time. So we have to get moving. Tog says he fed the meat to the gorilla. Gajnak said he poisoned it. Seven seems satisfied in his investigation. For now, everybody go about your business. If there's anything else that happens, we're gonna have to figure something out. You see, Rag just like he doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't want to wrongfully accuse someone, and he doesn't have any evidence to act on. So, everybody get back to work. We need to get moving.
I'll pull out my guts and climb back up to the crow's nest.
Man, we have a rope ladder. Somebody's gonna have to clean that.
I would like to, like after everything is broken up, I would like to try and talk to Rag one-on-one.
Sure.
And just say like, look, I'm not saying that this is somebody on your crew. In fact, I don't think it is. But if it were, in the mind of a saboteur, where would you strike next? I mean, you know this ship better than anyone. So, where would you strike next? Perhaps we can set up a sting or something.
That's a good question. I truly don't know. I mean, this isn't a big ship. It's not like there's lots of places to hide. It seems like these attacks are targeted to you and your crew, your group, more than my crew. My crew just happens to be in the way.
Well, let's put it this way. Before we got on, we didn't know about any four-armed gorillas. Are there any other four-armed gorillas on the ship that maybe we should keep an eye out for?
No, that was the only one. That, believe it or not, they're hard to get. They're hard.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
They got
You got
4 arms.
any like explosives or anything?
No, nothing. No explosives. Nothing like that.
Any sections that are prone to leak, spout water, or anything like that?
Well, I mean, water always gets in. That's and it collects in the bilges below. If you can stand the smell, if I were gonna hide, that's probably where I would hide. But
All right, I've smelled some stinky things, so let's call that Plan A. All right, I appreciate your help on this.
yeah.
And I leave.
So the rowing crew goes back down. Esther and Travers, do you go back up? Do you stay down there?
Where does Tog go?
Tog stays up on the deck with Sharg and I dragged Barca. By mistake. Sharg and Barca to do the fishing, so they stay up on the top deck. Urug, Crothu, and Halrex go down.
I want to can I like feed Demas a snack and play around? What time of day is it right now? Is it like middle of the night or what's happening?
No, it's like mid-morning. The gorilla came out just like an hour or so into the rowing shift.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to delay. I'm gonna stall a little bit and just like play around with Demas and see if I can try to see if there's any furtive talk between the two brothers or anything like that I might be able to witness or overhear.
Sure. Crothu, Urug, and Halrix, they have to get rid of the gorilla, so 3 of them team up and drag the gorilla slowly back into the room. They don't bother putting it in the cage. It's dead. It's not like it's going to get back up. But they just needed to get it out of the way. And then they go back to rowing. Gajnak goes back to the kitchen. Gorza goes back to the stables. Travers, do you want to go up? Do you want to stay down?
I don't want to go back to rowing, but on my way to rowing, I'm going to take a look at that cage, that food dish, to see if he ate the food, to see if he broke out of the cage, or maybe it was left unlocked. Anything suspicious.
Go ahead and roll perception, please.
I would love to.
$22. Okay. So he clearly broke out of the cage.
Okay.
What you don't see is a broken lock. So it looks like it was left unlocked, and he just like ripped the door off its hinges and got out. You do see the food bowl there, and it is empty. Like you pick it up and sort of sniff at it. You don't get this any sort of weird smell in the bowl. It just smells like meat.
It just smells like meat.
Yep.
No other sense.
No other sense.
I know Travers wouldn't know to look for anything else. Okay. It's empty. Okay.
And I will say, as you were fighting the gorilla, it did look sluggish. Like it was like it had been sick.
Okay.
Obviously not unconscious, but it did look sickened.
I don't know what else to check, unless there's anything else in the room that strikes me as suspicious.
Nothing else.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Gorillas don't really keep a whole lot of possessions around or anything, so it's hard to know if anything is missing. No.
There's no diary to look through, or
no diary.
Okay.
No ominous letter.
I am going to. Travers doesn't want to go back to rowing. I think I'm going to feign like that was a tough fight. I think Travers is going to say, oh my God, like that. My shoulder is really sprained. I don't think I can row anymore.
Don't believe him.
Hal Rex is like, I don't think you got hit.
No,
I was down here. I don't remember seeing you get hit.
When I threw the knife, I whipped out my shoulder.
He's lying. Don't believe him.
Travers, roll deception.
Come on, I need to succeed at something.
I mean, Hal Rex is she's heard all the excuses.
But it's 17 plus 9.
Oh, well, I suppose the three of us can handle it. You're kind of small anyway. It doesn't really make sense for you to be rowing. Go ahead and head back up.
Seven's going to call down from up in his crow's nest. If you are injured, this one would be happy to patch you up so you can get back to your job. And he'll start climbing down.
He's not injured. He's lying.
I'm not lying. My shoulder really hurts.
You are excused from rowing duty.
Is my video frozen to anybody else?
Yeah.
Super frozen.
Can you hear me though?
Yes.
I hear you, yeah.
It couldn't have frozen on a better, happier still.
Yeah, honestly, it's a pretty good picture.
It works. It still looks like you're talking, like a ventriloquist or something.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to find a cloth or something, and then like sprinkle some heavy smelling, like nice smelling, like something in there to like to cover my nose and face so I can look at the bilges, look more at the bilges.
My only question is, where do you find something pleasant smelling on a ship full of orcs?
You know what? Travers really likes his own scent, so he's gonna go down there and just put his nose like in the in his shirt, like put the shirt over his nose. You can't see me,
but like taking a rag and putting it under his armpits.
I need to know what Travers smells like now.
Oh,
what does it
Lord.
smell like?
Chocolate and raspberries.
So that's not bad.
It's not bad. You couldn't.
As you walk away from Halrex, she's like, "I kind of want some chocolate now."
Like, I get that a lot. You couldn't see me, but I was demonstrating me putting my nose in my shirt. So anyway, I'm gonna go down to the bilges, and I'm going to take a closer look around.
Sure.
It bugged me that I didn't.
So before you do that, Jaytham, do you go back to rowing?
For now, yeah, but I do just kind of keep an eye out. Where exactly are the bilges in relation to the rowing area?
Directly below you.
Okay.
So there's a secret trap door in the room with the gorilla.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's literally just below you.
Okay. So seeing that Travers has gone down there, that probably would have been something that I would have done in my off hours, but I'm going to trust that he is okay investigating on his own. But I will keep an eye out for anybody else that goes down there during my shift.
Sure. Seven's up in the crow's nest. Esther is playing with Demas.
We're in between meals, right? Like, I'm not slacking off on my job, am I? Gorjak me?
Kinda, but not really. Like, Gajnak can handle it. He just enjoys the help. So if you decide not to go back to cook like right away, it's totally fine.
Well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'll go back eventually, but I'll wait a little while. I don't know, but if nothing's gonna happen, I'm just gonna go down there.
Why don't you roll perception?
Thank you.
You said you had kind of wanted to spy on the brothers.
A little bit, yeah. Just to see, even if I forgot that's on the other. Oh, it's right there. Even if they don't. Okay, yeah, I'm just distracted. My dog is really cute.
Dogs are always cute. 13. You do see them talking. It doesn't look like they're conspiring. They're just sort of like doing their job. Tog does look a little irritated, maybe. But it could be just because he got reamed out in front of everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then I'll go down and I'll hang out with Chef G. I don't remember how to pronounce his name.
Gajnak.
Demas
will come with you, kind of curl up on the stairs.
Great.
Okay. That might be a good place to take our break. It's been about an hour. I know you guys like to take your break about an hour in, so we're going to take a short break. We will be right back.
I'm going to restart my computer.
And welcome back. Okay. Travers,
Yes.
we're gonna start with you down in the bilges. So you go back down through the trapdoor.
Great.
As you walk away, and don't go up, Halric says, "Glad to see you're feeling better." And then you go down through the trapdoor.
As she says that, I point to my head. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. And I go downstairs.
I'm just confused. So you get to the door. You prepare yourself by putting your shirt over your nose, and you open it.
Mm-hmm.
And you head on in. So
All right.
I just realized the pathway doesn't line up to the squares. So you're a little off center, but that's okay. There's this wooden walkway that goes from one end to the other. There's a door at the other end. You can see the water. It's full of like algae, gross looking water. It's not very deep, maybe 2 feet at the deepest.
I have a really stupid question.
Uh.
Is this where everybody's waste goes as well?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so. I think it's just where water, like when it rains
Okay.
on the boat, it has to go somewhere, it has to collect somewhere. It always collects in these bilges. And then they either manually pump it out. Nowadays they have electric pumps, I'm sure. But
Okay. So as I walk to the other end to check out that door, I just take a look from side to side, seeing if I see any like snorkel gear sticking up out of the water
sure.
or goggles or something.
I hope for their sake they're not in the water. Go ahead and roll perception.
Somebody. Okay.
28. So you get to this door. Hidden in the shadows over here in this corner, you see what looks like a hammock, like a net, strung up between this wall and this wall.
Okay.
It is empty. It seems weird that it would be there.
Anything else of note there?
No, it's just that it's just that that hammock net looking thing. It looks very similar to the hammocks that are in the crew's quarters.
Hold on, I have an idea, but let me see what I have in my inventory. I am going to, I have some chalk in there. This might be wild, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm going to, do I have 10 chalk? Is that what I'm seeing here?
I believe chalk comes in. Yeah.
I'm going to take a piece of chalk. I'm going to crumble it up in my hands. And I know I'm small, but can I like smear it on the hammock, the bottom of the hammock, or like the top of the hammock, so that if somebody were to lay down, it would like be on their back?
Yeah, that's going to take more than one piece of chalk, but you can do that for sure.
How many pieces of chalk are we talking? 2?
It's like a normal sized hammock, so I mean, if you want enough chalk dust to cover the as much of the hammock as you can, because it's also a net, so you're going to lose a lot through the holes. So, I mean, you're going to have to use at least 5 of your chalk for that.
But chalk is
pieces of chalk are not very big.
all right. I'm gonna use 5.
Okay.
All right. Then I'm gonna check the door. Go ahead. Sorry.
You do that. No, you do that. Crush up 5 pieces of chalk, and you are able to kind of worm your way up there, and you spread the dust as best you can, and then go back to the door.
I'm going to check the door for traps.
Okay. Do another perception.
Okay. 21.
21. Oh, my foundry froze. There we go. Okay, we're back. You do not detect any traps. This door is also locked. I'm not going to make you roll to lock pick it again. It's not a very good lock. Even if you fail, you could just like force it open and it would open. It's not like they're trying to keep anything out of or in here.
Okay. I'm gonna open that door.
You open that door. You see another little staircase, and then you see a ladder, much like the other one that you came down. Right over here, that goes up.
I'm going to. Does that ladder correspond to any openings that I've seen on deck?
No.
Oh, I'm going up that ladder.
Okay. You go up that ladder. There's like a wooden slat. You try to push on it, and you can't. It's not like it's locked. It probably feels like something heavy on top of it that is preventing you from being able to open it. Given the layout of the ship, you've been on the second deck from one end to the other. You would guess that this would come up somewhere in that storeroom that you there's the stairs that go up to the top deck. This comes up somewhere in that room. So it's probably a crate or something that's on top of this, holding it shut.
Okay. I don't have anything that I can use to move that. And I laid a very clever trap. So I'm going to get out of the room. I'm going to put everything back. If I can, I'll relock it.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave the bilge, relock the door if I can. Head.
Before you leave the bilge,
I run into a trap.
Can you roll a will save, please?
Yes.
Success. You just feel like this pressure in your mind. Maybe it's the smell getting to you.
Sure. Because I have dropped the shirt from my nose at this point in order to relock the door. So I'm gonna head back up to the top deck.
Yeah.
Or wait.
So I'll point it out to you on the second deck. So you come up the trapdoor where the gorilla room is, and you go through the rowing alley there. Right over here.
I turn to Halrack and I'd be like, "That's not the way to my room," and I'm gonna go up.
That's not where I parked my car. Right about here, you see a crate that looks like it's been jostled a little bit. If you push it out of the way, you see that there's like another trap door there. So that's probably where that ladder was.
All right. I'm going to head back up to the top deck, and I'm going to oh so subtly keep an eye on Gorza.
Okay. You sort of poke your head into the stables. Looks like he's doing his job, kind of using a pitchfork to pick up the poop, throw it overboard.
Keeping an eye on him.
Okay.
Hidden if possible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're roguey. You'll be all right.
Okay.
So, the morning shift passes by uneventfully. The rest of that shift, you do break for lunch, so you have some time to regroup if you would like. The rowers come up. So basically the whole crew goes into that little break room area so that they can eat lunch. What would you guys like to do? We can assume that you're all back up on the top deck.
I mean, does anybody want to like play cards with me on our lunch break? Like on any of the crew, can I like get to know them a little better? My targets are probably Tog, or maybe Halrex if she seems into it.
Sure. You can just join the crew. You can kind of let me move them around a little bit. You can kind of sit at the head of the table there between them.
Sure,
And
yeah.
if you offer to play some cards with them, they'll happily oblige.
Cool.
What do the other three want to do? I'll put Demas in there too. He'll curl up on the table in front of you.
A wolf just like chilling on the dining room table. Cool.
Nobody dare say anything.
It's a good thing I don't cheat at cards.
Jaytham, Travers, 7. What would you three like to do?
Seven's
I'm
just
sorry.
going to be...
Where are Golznak and Krothu?
So the entire crew is in the break room there. By
Who
Rex.
is playing cards with Esther?
Tog and Halrex.
Okay. Golznak and Krothu, I kind of want to warm up to and just be like, pretty crazy about that gorilla, huh? Has that ever happened to anyone else before?
No. We have a set schedule. We got to feed the gorilla same time every day.
Is it often that you're transporting these dangerous animals? Is that something you do all the time?
I mean, not specifically gorillas, but yeah, occasionally we'll find a wild animal that Rag thinks the orcs in our gear will want to buy, and we'll take it.
Is this the first time that one of them is broken loose like this?
Oh yeah, that's weird. That shouldn't have happened.
Can I trade you my juice box for a Twinkie?
Sure, you can have. Yeah, I like juice. Here.
All right. I spend the rest of lunch break just negotiating food deals.
Okay, I like it. 7, Travers. Before we get to the cards, what would you guys like to do?
7's going to be with Esther in the card game.
Okay.
He'll be kind of like looming over Esther's shoulder because he's never played cards before. Esther, this one wonders what it means when you have 3 cards that look like ladies.
Well, why don't I start a new hand and deal you in? Sit across
Also, it depends on how you would define looks like ladies.
Yeah.
I feel like this 8 looks a lot like a lady.
Interesting.
You see Tog nudge his brother Shark. Like, that just sounds like a good Saturday night.
An 8?
3 ladies.
Seven's face just blank and confused.
After I high five Tog and Sharg, I'm going to just keep an eye on. I'm just keeping an eye on Gorza. There's something about him.
Okay. Can I help you with something? Why are you staring at me? Gorza says.
Am I? Hold on, let me move my stuff around. Where am I? Am I in front of him? Behind him?
It's sort of abstract at the moment. You're all around this table in the crew's quarters, the crew's area.
Great. I'm just gonna be like, oh, no reason. I just want to get to know my stable buddy better.
Sure, I guess.
You know, I lost track of where I was going, and I went to the bilges, and that is rough, right? Like, can you imagine like anybody staying down there? Like,
oh, I don't know why anyone would want to. That's one of the jobs that we hate the least, is having to drain the bilges. We don't have to. Thankfully, we don't have to do it all the time, but it can get pretty hairy around here because nobody wants to do it. Lots of fighting.
yeah. Like if someone it's not like a lot of room for me up there. So if somebody like wanted to like put a hammock up there, like I don't know. Has anybody done that before? Is that weird? I'm just looking for a new place to stay.
If you're looking for a place to stay, I would not suggest the bilges.
I like my privacy.
I mean, it doesn't take much to string a hammock up. I suppose you could just do it anywhere you wanted as long as you had secure anchors, but
So no one's down there? That's no one's like private place.
no.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And I just keep staring at him, and I just don't even break eye contact. I just eat.
He's like, you're freaking me out. I'm gonna take my lunch out on the deck, I think.
I'm going to wait till he leaves. And I'm going to follow him. Hidden, if possible.
Roll stealth.
Stealth, stealth, stealth. Where is stealth? Proficiencies, stealth. That is a 23.
23. He definitely you're out on the deck. It's not like there's any place to hide. So he definitely notices that you're watching him. But you see him sit over on the little dinghy lifeboat thing. Just sort of sits there eating his meal.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go. Let's see. I'm going to go around him and act like I'm going like up top. And I'm going to act like I'm going into the stables.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go check on my favorite horse. But I'm going to kind of stay against the wall so I can keep him in my line of sight, but hopefully stay hidden from his.
Okay. Yeah, we can just say you're sort of like hovering around the corner. If he gets up to move, you'll see him.
Great.
Esther, playing cards.
And 7.
And 7. 7's giving away your hand every time. But what does that mean?
No, I want him to
Is
sit
it good when
across
they're all in
from me.
order like that?
I want you to sit across the table from me. We're gonna, I don't know, we're gonna play a game where you don't, I don't know. I keep thinking about, I'm like, would I want to put 7 on my team or no? Probably no, right?
It's extremely undecided at this point.
Yeah, I don't actually myself, I don't know how to play poker. Ugh.
Okay.
So I don't know what is actually happening, but I think that Esther knows, you know?
Sure. I don't think the goal here is to actually play cards.
It's not really,
Yeah.
but that's essentially probably what we're doing. And I do want to kind of like linger in that realm of the crass joke that what's his face made, and like keep talking about, because I've got both Tog and Halrex at the table, right?
Yep.
So if we keep talking about like relationship stuff or like, you know, that kind of stuff, I want to like watch them. There's like the gather information skill. How do you want to do it? Roll?
I mean, just roll diplomacy. I
Yeah.
think gather information is like not really intended for these sort of intimate encounters. I think it's more of like a general thing. But just roll diplomacy.
Yeah. Also, my other like side goal is just to like get them to trust me a little bit more. Wow, we're rolling so well today.
Well, it's a 20. So you were already on pretty good terms with them.
Sure.
What exactly do you say to steer the conversation towards a relationship?
So, okay, so they were talking about a Saturday night or whatever, and I'll say, oh my goodness, when do you ever make doc? You gotta like doc to meet people, and I just kind of like look suspiciously around the table and like flirtatiously hide behind my cards.
Togs, I mean, that's a good point. We don't actually get too many. There's no cities along this river, so it's not like we get to dock and go enjoy a day or two in a city. It's more like small towns, villages, campsites, that kind of thing. And he sort of looks over at Halrex, and he's like, you know, occasionally you can make a friend here and there.
He like looks at her when he says that. What is her response? What does her face say in response?
She's not the blushing type.
But
you see her sort of give him a side eye, and she doesn't like acknowledge that he said it.
Does she seem irritated that he said something so?
You get the sense that she's more irritated at the openness than what he said.
That's kind of what I figured. I also, I'm trying to remember if the potential romantic relationship between Halrex and Rag was explicitly named by another member of the crew, or if that was something that I intuited from.
It was very heavily implied that they were not necessarily in a relationship, but they were doing relationship things behind that closed door.
Sure. Okay. Interesting. I learned that all in a flash of an eye. And I say, Ray, I play a card to stall, and I say something. I say, I'm not feeling clever today, y'all, but I want to feel so clever. I say something about like, I play a queen, and I say, well, there's not many ladies here on board. But except for this queen, I don't know, y'all. I drink more coffee. Can I roll to say that was even craftier because I'm a bard?
Yeah, do performance. Make it charisma based.
Oh my lord. I'm really not. Okay, yeah, no. Also feeling tired and sleepy and not doing a very good job of having this conversation.
So you see Tog, he sees the card you played, and he's like, I fold. And he folds his cards. He doesn't go anywhere, but he's just out of this hand.
Where is the next port?
So there isn't necessarily one along the river. Rag did say that they had to make a supply drop within the next day.
Right.
You're not aware of any towns along this this river. Actually, I can show you the map that you had. So there's like an old fort, castle kind of thing that these were used for when the horde line keeps moving throughout history. Different castles would pop up as forts that's what Red Lake Fort is. It's another one of those. So there's like ruins and remains, but they're not like settlements or anything. So you're not 100% sure where exactly Rag is saying that you will make your stop. But it's somewhere along this Kestrel River. And you're only like a day out, so you're not that far along the river yet. 2 days out. I think it was 2 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've done a couple of shifts. But
you can inquire with your card mates
about the stop.
Yeah,
that I was.
Rag sort of announced it to the group, like we have to make a stop, get back to work. So you can. It makes sense that you would question, like, where are we stopping?
That was intended to be a question to the table of like, so what is our next stop like?
So Halrex, at the change of topic, is very. She sort of brightens up a little bit. She says there's a Knights of Ozum outpost along this river that we make supply drops to every time we pass through.
The Knights of Ozum. What do I know about them? Would I have heard of them before?
You can roll some
Bardic lore. Maybe my dice will.
You have hero points.
You do have hero points.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I do. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I should have used that on pretending that Esther was more clever than I was, too, to be honest with you. Because I am now, I'm going to come up with a better quip and I'm going to say it before the end of the stream and it's going to make me feel better about it.
I will allow you to retroactively
say something cooler. Thank you so much.
Say it later.
I don't need to re-roll. I'm going to say something actually cooler. I'm churning it into my brain.
Okay.
We're working on it. I do remember. What am I doing? I tried to click something and it didn't happen.
If you right
click lore. Oh, did go. Oh, my hero point. I was trying to make it go away, and I gave myself 3 hero points instead of taking away 1. And I'm just gonna re-roll. Okay. Re-roll and keep the new result. 1 extra. Oh, I guess 2.
Yeah, it went from a 13 to a 17.
Okay.
So Knights of Ozum. They are an order out of Lastwall that are dedicated to guarding against the return of the Whispering Tyrant. They stand steadfastly against any undead or evil. It's a deeply religious order. They worship Iyomide. You didn't really roll well enough for a whole lot of backstory there, but that's the gist of it. They're sort of like a militant order that stands against evil. Of which, I mean, you're deep in the horde of the hold of Belkson, so there's lots of evil around here. And they do have these outposts scattered around, and one just happens to be along this route. And when you what's her name in True Now?
Which one?
The Ruby's mother. Can't remember her name for the life of me.
Ruby.
She was.
Oh, the girl who just got her hope knife.
Halgra.
Okay.
Wow. Halgra. Chief Defender Halgra.
Okay. Oh.
When she said that, we arranged transport for you, she said that Rag occasionally, he regularly plies those waters, and he has a set route that he follows. So it makes sense that he has regular stops along the route.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, there's a Knight of Ozum there, pretty much all the time, and we're just making a supply drop for them.
Oh,
we should be there within the next day or so, provided there's no setbacks or anything.
Do you experience setbacks very often? I mean, we've had quite a few already.
This trip has been sort of out of the norm. Usually it's not this. I mean, there's always wild animals. River drakes occasionally will pester you. They really like the horses. So when we have to set the draft horses out on the banks to help us pull, that can be kind of treacherous. But for the most part, we travel these waters all the time, and we don't have hardly any setbacks like this. So this trip is kind of abnormal.
I look at Seven with a little bit of horror, realizing the thing about the drakes was just said about our horses. But Seven also didn't take a horse, so I don't think he has anything to feel guilty about. But
I have not forgotten that one shot. It is up here.
Seven has been doing his best to imitate everything that Esther is doing because he thinks that's how you play cards. So when Esther's holding her hands up like this, he's doing the exact same thing with the cards.
Great. He winks flirtatiously, so does Seven.
I don't think Seven can wink.
Yeah, he just blinks both eyes.
But instead of like going like this, is like the eyelids to go from side to side instead.
Ew.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, I think so. Wait, Tog folded. Is Horex still in? At this point, I'll play something. I can raise the ante. I don't know. I'm gonna do something risky.
Yeah, you can bet. Sure.
Whoa. Should we take bets on whether or not there will be another disruption though? Also? I look around the table. We can handle it.
You see, you were like, I'll take some of that action.
Ah. All right. What would you bet? What would be a good wager here? I don't have a lot of money, to be honest, but I'd throw a couple copper, or we could trade work shifts, or
sure, we can barter work shifts. That's fine.
What do you do here?
She's one of the rowers.
Oh, sure, I can row.
I don't think there will be any other setbacks.
Huh.
As Halric said, this is kind of abnormal.
All right.
So
Well.
I'll bet that there won't be.
Well, I love a good story, and so I'm going to bet that something else interesting will happen.
Barca jumps in. I'm with you. I'll take that. Shark says, I'm with Uruk. So a couple other people get in on the action. We'll figure out what.
7? 7 deaths? What kind of death do you foresee for us? Is it coming on the horizon?
This one hopes it is a predictable death.
Doesn't do you predict deaths? Like, do you predict them though?
This one does not predict deaths, no.
It's just polite to hope that if someone dies, it's a good death.
Is a predictable death a good death? Always?
A predictable death is one that you see coming, so that you have time to prepare for your demise.
I see. I'd always imagined when you said that, I was picturing like that you were just saying that you hoped somebody would die slowly in their beds or of old age.
That is a predictable death. That is one you see coming.
But also could be one you see coming if you, say, take on a dangerous path or choose dangerous friends, no?
This one has read many stories about heroes seeking predictable deaths. This one finds that many of those stories say it is a great honor to meet that particular predictable death.
Like the Austin Powers steamroller scene.
Yeah, he definitely saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right, so we have a bet levied and accepted. The bet was swapping some work shifts, so
Yeah.
Okay. Sharg, Urug, Barca, Esther. Let me write this down. Okay. So lunch ends. Everybody sort of packs up. Normally after lunch there would be a bit of a downtime to digest and relax a little bit, but Bragg is like, we have to get going. We're going to be late to our supply drop if we don't. So the rowers go back downstairs. Everybody else, Gajnak goes back into the kitchen to prepare for dinner. Does Esther join him?
I will, yeah.
Rag says to Seven and Travers and Jaytham, you guys don't have to go back to your job posts today if you don't want to. Whatever's happening on my ship takes priority at the moment. The rest of my crew can handle the rest of my crew can handle getting us to where we need to go. So you guys focus on your investigation.
I would like to go downstairs and take a look at the door / locks where the ape was being held to see if I can see if it was tampered with or anything like that.
Sure. Go ahead and roll perception. So the lock does not appear to be tampered with. The door is no longer attached. A gorilla ripped it off. The lock does not appear to have been tampered with. It was just simply unlocked. So it's possible that when Tog fed the gorilla, he forgot the lock behind him. That's possible. He denies that accusation, but the door was not locked.
What did we do with the ape's corpse?
It's pretty much right where you're standing.
Okay.
They dragged it from where it was laying into here to get it out of the way. So it's still in here.
I'm just wondering if it were somehow drugged to make it more aggressive.
You can roll medicine.
Okay. Medicine. There we go.
So when you were fighting it, it definitely seemed sickened, as if it had been drugged. Based on what you know about gorillas, you have to drug them because they're particularly territorial and aggressive. So the aggression is not abnormal. What is abnormal is that, for whatever reason, the poison didn't do what it was supposed to do. To sedate him.
Okay. So, remind me, whose shift was it to drug the gorilla?
It was Tog's turn to feed it. He gets the food from Gajnak in the kitchen. Gajnak poisons it, gives the serving to whoever is taking it to the gorilla, and then they go feed it to him.
Okay.
I'll say that you guys had time to sort of talk. Based on what Seven knows about the simian tranquilizer, that's what Gajnak called it. For a humanoid creature, one dose would be enough to knock you out unconscious. A second dose would kill you. For a beast the size of a gorilla, it would take 3 doses to kill. So they always have to sort of hover around the 2 dose to keep it knocked out. 1 dose will just make him sick. 2 doses knocks him out. 3 doses will kill him. So they need to balance that.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that Jaytham would want to do. He might join one of his smarter compatriots like Travers and just follow him around being like, yeah, I'm important too, you know. I could solve this whole thing in 24 hours if people would just get off my back.
This is really funny because Travers is still following Gorza around, trying to be quiet.
Hey, just so you know.
It's just a conga line all around the deck of those 3.
So something that's been bugging me, and I just want to clear this up.
Mm-hmm.
We had a chance to chat, so I'm assuming that I've learned that there's a strong bitter smell to the simian tranquilizer. Is that correct?
Yep.
Do I remember smelling anything like that in the food bowl?
You got a good whiff of that food bowl. It just smelled like meat.
Just smelled like meat. Okay. Did we establish where does Gajnak hand the meat directly to Tog, or does she leave it somewhere?
So, based on what you know of the transaction, Tog showed up to the kitchen to get the meat for the gorilla. Gajnak had the bowl ready with the meat in it, and Tog saw him pour the poison into the meat.
What kind of
Gajnak
meat?
handed the bowl to him. Tog went down to feed the gorilla, came back up, and that was that.
Last question.
Mhm.
Is there any other place besides the kitchens that you can grab meat? I'm asking because I'm wondering if Tog chucked the meat, put some more meat in there that's undrugged,
Uh-huh.
and gave it to the gorilla.
The kitchen would be the only place to get meat. They hold all the foodstuffs for the crew. They keep in the kitchen.
Got it.
So basically, it's Hog's word against Gajnok's word against your whether you believe them or not.
I'm stubbornly just going to follow Gorza.
Once Gorza is done eating, he goes back into the stables. Looks like he is cleaning the saddles and all the gear and stuff for the horses, making sure that they're in tip-top shape.
Oi, Travers, where you going?
Jaytham, can you keep it down for a second?
Can I come? I'm feeling really left out lately. Just the last 12 hours or so.
Do you feel like no one's really paying attention to you, Jaytham?
I mean, I just would like to be included, is all.
Okay. Okay, you can help me keep an eye on Gorza.
I'll keep her.
But you have to stay.
I will be as quiet as a church mouse. And I'll just keep it. I'll keep an eye out, all right? Make sure that nobody is trying to blow up our spot, as the kids say these days.
That sounds great, Jaytham. I just really like that. I really like the idea of Travers and Jaytham like peeking above something to keep an eye on Gorza.
It's just like the Three Stooges when they peek around a corner.
Yeah.
Like one head and then the head above them.
And of course, I'm going to keep an eye out to see if anybody has any chalk on their back.
Sure. You do not see any chalk anywhere on the deck at this point. I mean, it's only been like a couple hours, so. But we'll say that you're always on the lookout for that the chalk.
Great.
So Esther and Gajnok in the kitchen. You're preparing dinner. Travers and Jaytham are keeping 4 eyes on Gorza. 7, what would you like to do, if anything?
For 7, he thinks like the worst thing that could possibly happen now is for someone to try to harm the captain. So he's going to stick next to him.
Okay. So the captain currently is in his quarters, sitting at his desk, doing whatever it is captains do with the compass and all that stuff.
Is the door open or closed?
The door, it's partially open, so you can sort of.
And then I'm just going to be like peeking around, just staying there stationary.
Perfect.
It's the third stooge. We see the first two, and then
third
over
stooge, wrong doorway.
The third stooge. Yeah.
We're there in spirit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide though. Like he's not a stealthy person, so
yeah.
He's just got his very long fingernails just sort of like clutched around the door.
Does Evan breathe with his mouth open, like really loudly?
Oh.
So Rag is always like looking around, like, what is that noise?
It's more of like a hissing sound. His breath is like...
Is there an air leak in here? What is happening? So Rag, he's just in his quarters doing his thing. So a couple hours go by. Eventually, it's time to break for dinner. Esther and Gajnok, the two of you,
Is there anything changed in his demeanor at all from the first time that I met him?
It doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
He might seem a little more happy. Like before, he
Interesting.
was sort of like meek, but now he seems just like to have a little bit more confidence. Maybe he's just nervous around new people. Who knows?
Okay.
So the two of you bring food out. We'll say it's like a pot of stew, some nice rolls, and everybody gathers up for dinner. Up here. Do the four of you eat with the crew?
Yeah.
So everybody is going to have a serving of some stew and some bread. Stew is Rag's favorite, so he's going to have 2 bowls. He's the captain. He can do what he wants.
I am going to stick my finger in the captain's bowl, taste it every time. Every time he gets a new bowl, just to be safe.
Can you not do what you're doing, please?
This one is investigating.
Roll perception, or I guess medicine would also apply.
Really good at medicine, so I'll do that.
Everybody is just happily eating.
It's going to be a 24.
The food's been poisoned.
I immediately spit out that thing. This one does not think you should eat this food. It has some. I'm assuming it's that simian.
It smells
simian.
exactly like that simian tranquilizer.
So
you see Rag just like not. He's completely taken aback. He puts a hand on her shoulder and he goes, "Thank you."
This one's happy to be of service.
With his other hand, he grabs Gajnak by the scruff of his neck and lifts him off of the ground. And he's like, "You are coming with me." And Gajnak the whole time is just protesting. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
How did I miss that? I was helping him cook.
You didn't see him do anything.
Have you guys tried these rolls? They're really good. Just going to keep eating them until somebody tells me not to do it.
It was only the stew that was poisoned.
Oh.
The rolls were not.
Well, the rolls are exemplary.
They run out of rolls.
My
But I
roll.
think it was a pretty big kerfuffle that just happened at the table in front of everybody, right?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, please don't eat that poison.
This one does not recommend eating the stew that has been seasoned improperly.
I pick it up from the table and I say, but I don't know what to do. But I'm taking it away. I'm taking it out of the room.
Yeah. So you take the pot back to the kitchen.
Does Gorza have? Did Gorza have any stew?
Everybody was eating the stew until Seven was like, "Oh, stop." Esther, on your way by, you see that Rag has lashed Gajnak to the mast. So like he's pinned him up against the mast and has wrapped rope around him from like the neck down. He's completely pinned to the mast, so he can't go anywhere. The rest of the crew, they see Jaytham eating the rolls, and he's not dead, so they also eat the rolls, but don't eat the stew. They're hungry. Esther, you go back to the kitchen with the pot of stew. I almost said stew of pot. That's not right. You put the pot up on the counter, and in your head, you're trying to retrace Gajnak's steps. You were with him the whole time.
Yeah.
You did not see him put poison in the stew. You know where that poison was kept. Seven told you. You go to open it, and you see the poison bottle is there, but it is empty.
Seven's out on the deck because he's not leaving the captain. He's falling behind. He's always going to stay. I just want to, for the sake of my own sanity, that third eyeball in the center of his forehead just like flickers open, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just to see if there's anything weird happening at all. Nah, I'm
the
at
range
11
on
now. Wait, no, it's still the same. So it only detects magic. It doesn't give me any other details. I want to know if there's anything odd right now.
What's the range?
30 feet.
30 feet.
Emanation.
You do not currently detect any abnormal magic or anything. You don't detect any magic that shouldn't be there.
Okay. I want to stroll past the kitchen.
Okay.
And cast it again. Like, I'm going to keep... It's going to be like a repeated cast.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't get anything from the kitchen. Very, very briefly, you ping delusion magic on the stairs leading down.
Wait, the stairs leading down?
Yep.
Alright, I would just ping magic. I wouldn't gotten like what kind, but I would just narrow it down, triangulate it to the stairs. See, Esther's behind me. I will mention this to her. This one detects some magic upon the stairs. This one is going to investigate. I have no idea where Travers is because he's probably hiding. So.
Okay, so before Seven moves on, Jaytham and Travers, what would you be doing? Would you be going with Seven or Esther, or sticking with the crew?
As far as Travers is concerned, he was so focused on Gorza, but when he saw Gajnak being taken away, he's like, okay, maybe it's not Gorza. So I would Travers would probably follow Esther. Probably Seven's the one who found it, right? So he probably follows Seven to figure out what was going on.
Jaytham, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
I think have I seen Seven go below decks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have seen him leave the room.
Okay. I would follow him then.
Okay. So the three of you go down. Esther.
I'm not gonna go down. I want to go up to where I saw Gajnak lashed to the post, and I want to make sure that the captain doesn't do anything rash.
Sure. Okay. Demas will stick with you.
Yeah.
All right. So the other three head down the stairs. Seven is constantly pinging detect magic every 6 seconds. The ping is getting further and further away from you. So every time you move, it moves.
Like it's moving of its... Interesting. I'm going to keep trying to follow it and see what happens. And I'll lead everyone.
The ping gives you a location too, right?
No. It just tells me the presence or absence of magic right now.
Oh, it doesn't give you a direction? It doesn't give you even a general direction?
No. I have to triangulate so I can be like, hey, I'm going to shut off this area. Just focus on this. Shut off this area. Focus on this. So that's how you can kind of like do it.
So you do that, and you can tell that this is getting further and further. Every time you move, it's like a different coordinates.
Okay. I'm going to try and follow it. I'll let the others know, and I'll try and follow it as best as I can.
Sure. It's definitely heading towards the gorilla area.
Okay.
Once you get into that room, it stops. You can't detect it anymore.
The
Can I
magic has
take a
vanished.
moment and take a knife from my necklace
Yes.
in preparation?
Want to search the area then? It stopped.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
I'm gonna hero point that. Better.
Oh, I thought that 20 was the one you got. Dang.
Yeah.
You notice the trap door is slightly ajar. Like it hasn't been shut all the way. Travers, when you left, you shut it.
Yeah, I'll point that out and head down.
Okay, you guys head down.
I imagine Seven climbs ladders down like a squirrel scampers down like a tree, just like face first, just scampering down. Like a cat or something, just.
I love it. How many accidents did it take before you figured it out?
I don't know. I mean, his limbs just bend in the wrong way, so it's probably be like the easiest way for him to do it.
Your arms are still facing the way that they would be if you were climbing down backwards, but
He's extremely double.
I mean, his legs, they bend, his knees bend backwards instead of forwards like a goat. So
it's really terrible. Wow. Thanks.
You get down the ladder and you see that this door is also partially open.
I'll keep moving
That leads
forward
into the
then.
villages.
I tap Seven and Jaytham, and I just kind of ask them to be quiet. And if nobody else does, I like Seven. I'm gonna motion for you to open the door because I'm gonna ready that knife.
Open that
Seven
door.
will open the door. Oh,
You don't see anything in that room.
Alright, I'll head in to the very obvious trap I will head in.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put my
Travers
shirt.
behind.
I'm gonna put my shirt over my nose.
Yeah, it definitely stinks in here. So you are moving down this little walkway. You're looking around for signs of movement. You see nothing. You hear nothing. You get about halfway down. And from behind you, in this corner, Travers, can you please roll a will save?
What is? Yeah, of course. Oh, no!
Hero
That's
Can I-
point.
interesting.
Have I
You
used
have
my
a hero
halfling?
point. You have a hero point too.
You have your
No,
hero.
no, bro, save, absolutely not.
I'm gonna use my hero point.
Yep.
Great. I got rid of one, so will save.
Oh, good.
I'll
move.
take
Much better.
that.
Okay. Again, you get that little like pressure in the back of your mind. For a split second, it's sort of you had like second thoughts, like maybe you wanted to leave, but you're able to like sort of fight that urge off.
Did anybody? And I look around to them too. Like, did anybody else feel that? Like this
Feel what?
weird pressure on like your brain.
This one has medicine
Or-
for that if you need it.
Yeah, it sounds like you have some problems with your parents.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
now is not the time.
Well, you brought it up, not me. Maybe when we're
I
not,
keep-
in danger of our mortal selves, we can get into why you feel so much pressure from your parents. But right now, we have bigger fish to fry.
No, Jaytham. Okay. I keep feeling weird every time I come down here. Can I look around? Do I see anything? Has the hammock been disturbed?
I didn't want to interrupt the conversation because it was great. But yes, in the corner over here, you see a woman standing there with a bow, and she has that bow aimed directly at Jaytham. And
Wait a minute,
the
a
look,
bow
the
like
look on her
a
face,
Ms. Pac-Man bow, or a bow like?
like a bow and arrow.
Oh, that's
Like
bad.
the kind of bow where she wants to stab you, but you're way over there.
All right.
7, you whip around and you see her too, because she is now like this guttural growl, almost like a this guttural scream erupts from her. And as you see her and you make eye contact with her, your vision ever so slightly shifts. You see the inside of a workshop, a blacksmith shop. You see a man sitting at a desk, and he stretches and yawns, obviously tired. There's a mess of papers on his desk in front of him, and there's a candle in one of those candlestick holders on the bench that's kind of sputtering. The light that it gives off is pretty minimal, but it's just enough for him to see. It looks like he's working numbers on his paper. You see him sighing, and he reaches over and he dips a quill into the ink, and he begins doing some addition. I was trying to do this in such a way that it was abstract, but I'm just going to read it. Parnath reaches over, dips his quill into the ink pot, eager to finish his reporting of the day's take and get home. He wasn't as young as he used to be, and he often found himself contemplating retirement. He had to wait until his daughter was grown, however. She was only 9 and had a ways to go before she was ready to make her own way in the world. If she desired, she may even want to take over his shop. He wouldn't force that on her, though. It was her decision, and he would steadfastly adhere to that sentiment, no matter how much he wanted her to take over the family business. He was nearly done when he heard the jingle of the bell on his door. He could have sworn that he locked that. He stands up on protesting joints and walks to the door of the office, which is really nothing more than a sectioned off area in the very small storeroom in the back of his blacksmith shop. There's a hulking figure standing in the doorway. It's a half-orc. It's a brute of a fighter, if looks were anything by which to judge. I'm sorry, friend. I thought I had locked that door. We're closed for the night. However, since you're already in, I can make an exception. How can I help you? The half-orc just smiles. I can't do your voice, Jaytham, I'm sorry. Our mutual friend sends his regards. A shiver as cold as ice ran down his spine. Instantly, his fight-or-flight response kicked in, and he felt the surge of adrenaline fueling his limbs. He mastered himself and remained as calm as he could. He gulped, his Adam's apple bobbing. I thought I had another week, he said, weakly managing a small smile. You thought wrong, mate. I'm afraid I need to collect. I haven't got it all yet, Parnath said, trying to remain calm. The half-orc looks down, thinks for a moment, and he shrugs. That's too bad. I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. Parnath looks confused. It's all right. I can pay you. I just need a little more time. Please tell our friend that. He said, unable to keep the pleading tone out of his now frantic voice. Nah, mate. That's not why I'm sorry, the half-orc said, clicking his tongue behind his teeth. With a sudden and vicious lunge, the half-orc lurched forward and smashed his greenish fist, the size of a turkey, into Parnath's chest, knocking the wind out of him. The old man crumbles to the floor, gasping, trying desperately to fill his lungs. I'm under strict orders, mate. I don't want to do this. Truly, I don't. But, our friend, he don't take kindly in delays to getting his gold. A kick to the ribs, followed by a hard shove into the wooden bar-style counter, came next, forcing the old man flat to the ground. Parnath tasted blood, and his head felt foggy. His vision blacked around the edges ever so slightly before clearing. Please, I can't, he gasped. No matter how much he tried, he just could not get enough oxygen into his lungs. The sound in the back room made him realize the half-orc was no longer standing over him. He struggled to his knees, finally feeling blessed air enter his lungs as he got his wind back. Instantly, the fog in his head clears. His ribs are definitely bruised, possibly broken. Each breath feels like a fresh stab. What, you think I'm stupid or something, eh? The half-orc said from the back room. He came back into view holding a piece of paper aloft, just as Parnath gets to his feet, shaking. According to your own accounting, you can afford to give our friend his cut and then some. Perhaps I were to take this information to him and make sure he increased his percentage. No, you can't. I have to be able to afford to live. He will get his cut, I promise. I just need more time. I'm begging you. You live only if our friend says it is so. The half-orc pointed a meaty fist at him. Papa? Comes a weary voice from behind the half-orc. The half-orc grins. We? That makes sense now. He turned to look at the small girl. Her dirty blonde hair is a mess. There's a small scar on her right cheek, almost hidden among the freckles. Hello, me lovely, the half-orc said, extending a large green arm, hand open. I'm Jaytham. What's your name? Before the girl could answer, Parnath said, Stop it, please. He fought to keep tears from spilling out of his eyes. He practically runs to the lockbox, hidden in a false shelf under the counter. He quickly counts out silver coins, tosses them into a leather pouch, and he throws it none too gently at the half-orc. Here, damn you, take it. The half-orc catches the pouch and pockets it, smiling. He gives him a roguish wink. Next time, I expect this to go much smoother, eh? Jaytham smiles down at the girl. Parnath inhales sharply, but holds his tongue as Jaytham returns his gaze to him. Relax, I'm not about to hurt her. Even if I was, you would only have yourself to blame. Everyone knows that once you do business with the boss, he owns you. Jaytham lets the words hang on the air, and Parnath felt his face fall. The orc wasn't wrong. He had been the one to approach them to borrow money to keep his shop afloat during tough times recently. Jaytham smiles. See you in a week. Parnath's heart drops from his chest. A week? I just paid you. That is this month's payment. Terms have changed, friend. The boss wants weekly payments now. Good news is you make those payments, you'll pay off your debt that much faster. He can't do this. I can't. We need to eat. Please. Jaytham looks at Parnath, and the man thinks he sees a hint of pity in the orc's eyes. Sorry, mate. Boss's orders. Jaytham turns to leave. Behind him, the air whistles as an iron rod thuds across his back. 2 more hits in quick succession, and on the third, Jaytham falls to one knee. The child begins screaming. Hide! Parnath yells to his daughter as he continues his assault on the orc. Driven by anger, shame, and fear, he continues swinging, makes gain punches and kicks. Jaytham moves like lightning, catching the man's wrist mid-swing. Their hands meet with an audible slap, and Parnath, in that moment, realizes he has made a grave mistake. Jaytham doesn't let him get another word out. He grips the man's wrist so tightly it snaps with a sickening crack. The rod falls from Parnath's grip, and he's lifted and thrown bodily through the air. It was the only thing Jaytham did, and it was enough. The man falls to the floor, his head bouncing off his smithing anvil, coming to rest with his neck at a very unnatural angle. The door opened and a small figure walks in, dressed in a nice pinstriped suit with a wide-brimmed top hat. He sees Parnath lying on the floor, broken and unmoving. He looks up at Jaytham, who towers over him. The small figure smiles wickedly. I wish you hadn't killed him. Dead men can't pay, jackass. Jaytham lowers his gaze to meet the newcomers. Sorry, boss. Although, once word spreads that this guy ate it, people won't resist their payments so much. This could actually help business in the long run. Well done, dummy. The little figure, face hidden under the brim top hat, stands on his tiptoes to reach the top shelf. He grabs a beautifully crafted dagger and admires it. The blade glints in the light from the dying forge. The halfling straps the dagger to his belt, grinning. Let's go, big guy. We got a few more stops to make. Jaytham nods, not letting his face betray his true emotions. Things had gotten out of hand there. He knew that. He hadn't really meant to kill the guy. What was the old man thinking anyway, attacking him like that? It was a stupid move. Jaytham sighs, eyeing the broken body one last time before he follows the small figure out into the night. Behind him, in the shop, amidst the mess and quiet, comes a small, weak voice. Papa? Seven, you're brought back immediately. You see this figure standing in the corner, a bow drawn, aimed at Jaytham, and you see a small scar on her right cheek. So,
It's a lot of information for Seven to take in all at once.
yes, it happened very quickly.
It's just like boom, and it was all there. So Seven's going to narrow his eyes at Jaytham. And stop. You said she was over here, like in the...
She's over here on the corner. I apparently lost her token. I don't have her token. And by lost, I mean I must not have done it. But yes, it's right over here.
This one is disappointed in you, Jaytham Shaw.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna look to the girl that's like near me now.
Mm-hmm.
With the bow in her hand.
See her shaking with rage.
He will turn to the woman in black. This one does not think this is the right course of action. But this one knows what happened. This one will ensure that he is punished.
You see her sort of like, she's holding one eye on Jaytham, and she's like very quickly glancing in your direction.
So at this point, do I recognize this girl?
It's been a very long time, and she was only 9 years old the last time you saw her. Roll perception, I guess.
Okay.
See if you can piece it together real quickly.
I just want to say that Travers is looking from the lady to Jaytham to Seven, back to the lady to Jaytham to Seven.
What'd you get? 24. Yeah, you spot it. First, it doesn't make sense, right? First of all, what is she doing here? Secondly, she's uniquely focused right on you for no reason that you can think of. And then you just see that little scar on her cheek. And suddenly it clicks in your head. Oh, I remember you.
What would Jaytham do? I feel like he would like lock eyes with her and immediately like put down his weapon and his shield. Just keep staring her dead in the eyes and say, "There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about what happened that day. And I know that doesn't make much of a difference to you. But at the same time, I am sorry. Since that day, I have not acted on the wrong side of the law. And I know that that probably doesn't make much difference because your father is dead and it's my fault. But at the same time, I am sorry. And I'll throw myself at your mercy. And I even like tear my shirt open and point at my heart and be like, right here.
Jaytham to 7 to the lady. Jaytham to 7 to the lady. No idea what's going on.
You see her. I mean, she's literally shaking head to toe. She's hyperventilating. You see her like pull really hard on the bow and then very slowly release the tension a little bit. And then she lowers her head and releases the arrow straight down. You took everything from me. But I can't kill you. I can't bring myself to do it.
You're a better person than I ever was. But what's your name?
She very slowly lifts her eyes, and completely gone is the emotion. And she smiles, and she says, Malira.
Malira.
And then she vanishes.
She vanishes?
Vanishes. Turns invisible.
All right.
I should point out that name means something to all of you.
Even me?
Yes.
You that this one, you saw that one, right? You
This
saw
one
that.
saw everything. This one saw the night. You killed her father.
You killed her father?
It was an accident. It wouldn't have happened if he hadn't have fought back. That's all I'm going to say about it. And it haunts me for the rest of my days.
This one believes you have a long way to go to atone.
Well, this one doesn't disagree.
Southern is just going to fix a very, very flat, disappointed stare at Jaytham. He's going to turn on his heel and is going to head up to let Esther know everything he saw. And also to inform the captain that there is a stowaway on board.
Sure.
And who Melira is.
So, does that name sound familiar to you guys? It's been a while since you've heard it. Do you remember?
What was his name? The orc that we fought in the cavern?
Screed.
Screeds.
You remember the letter you found in his room that said to Melira, my beloved?
Oh.
Oh.
I just shared it to everybody.
Oh.
Unless you closed it. I can share it again, though.
I just had other windows in front of it.
Everything's Jaytham's fault. That's the lesson I'm getting out of this.
You all come back up on deck. After that heavy moment down in the bilges. And you all are conversing with Rag. Esther gets filled in on what happened. The crew now come out on deck as well. That's probably good enough. And Rag is dumbstruck. He's like, "It doesn't make sense that there'd be a stowaway on board. Somebody must have known something." All of you hear the sound of ropes hitting the deck. And you see Melira has cut Gajnak free. And Gajnak turns to her and says, "Melira, my love!" And then together they jump overboard into the river as the boat continues on its way.
I would run over to the side and look at where they fell into the water. Where do they go?
It looks like they are swimming for the shore to get away.
Are there any lifeboats or anything nearby?
No, I mean, it's a pretty wide river, but it's not impossible for them to swim from the middle of the river to the shore. It's not like heavy rapids or anything. I mean, they might have to worry about animals, but if they're quick, they might be okay. And they sort of disappear into the sunset off the boat.
I can't believe I wasted 5 chalk.
You see Gorgia look at Travers and smile. Told you it wasn't me.
Well, Gorza, you need to stop being so damn suspicious.
I think that's a good place to end the session.
I have one last thing that I want to say. We all rewind to the moment when I needed to be clever.
Yes.
I couldn't think of anything cool. And what I said was, I did play a queen on top of the trick. And I said, well, it sounds like in circumstances like these, a lady can take all she likes. And I took the trick. There we go. We're running slow today. But that one was fun. Thank you. Okay.
Worth the wait.
Thank you.
And on that note, I think we're going to end for the evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the session, enjoyed the story. We will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us. Everybody take care.
Bye.